News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, the New York Times reports that a judge in Oklahoma ruled on Monday that Johnson & Johnson had intentionally downplayed the dangers of opioids and ordered it to pay the state $572 million in the first trial of a drug manufacturer for the destruction that prescription painkillers cause. They wanted $17 billion, Oklahoma did, but they got $572 million. They want it to pay for addiction treatment, drug courts, other services. They said it would need over the next 20 years to repair the damage done by the opioid epidemic. And there are more than 2,000 of these lawsuits pending. So this case is expected to have a significant impact on them.
I got to tell you, from a guy who just had oral surgery yesterday and was sent home with some pain pills. You are blessed if those things don't speak to you. Mm-hmm. Like you take one and you just kind of makes you feel, for me, it's like
it's just kind of another here or there.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't really make me feel like anything. Or makes you nauseous, like good for you. Like, there's people that just like, I don't know, I smoked pot and it didn't really work for me, and it's like, good, bullet dodged.
They made me throw up when I had them, and then it was constipated for like 2 days, and it's like, I've never taken these again.
There's a drug for that now.
You take a Vicodin and you're like, where have you been my whole life? We got a problem. Like I had oral surgery yesterday morning where they cut open my gum and drilled into my jaw and put a titanium bolt in there to have a cap put on it. And I didn't take an aspirin or anything. And I got it about 10:30 in the morning. And by the time I got home around 4 o'clock, I was like, it's kind of throbbing a little bit. And I just took one of their Vicodin and it just kind of numbed it a little bit. And I just kind of got on with it. And then I was fine this morning. But man, if that shit speaks to you, it is brutal.
Well, when a certain type of person finds out that something can still hurt and you take something and you don't care, it's not that it's a painkiller. It's that you're like, it hurts and I just can't stop smiling. Brian. Well, that can go into all facets of your life with emotional pain and everything.
Well, the real problem that I don't think anyone ever anticipated, twofold. MaxPatel, you can hit up Geo one of these days, or you can tell MaxPatel hit up Geo, or you can, Kaylin, which is, I used to yell at Dr. Drew about this in 1999. Like, of course, the drug companies love that people are on a 90 Vicodin a day habit. And he'd go, no, they don't want that. And I'm like, they're in the business of selling these drugs.
Right.
The average person, like the average American, when used properly, might average 2 a year because you have dental surgery or back surgery or something, whatever. I would think of myself, I'm not a teetotaler and I'm up for fun. And I probably at that point had no Vicodins my entire life. I just had not had any surgeries or oral surgery or whatever. So they're not going to make any money off of me. But Drew is telling me story after story of guys who had a 90 pill a day habit. And I'm like, that's moving product. That's basically
90 pills a day?
Yes, because
holy shit.
You start with 2 and your body is always, what people don't understand is your body is trying to get to even all the time, the kind of homeostasis. Like it's like you lose your arm in a farming accident. Your body's working really hard to get normal with losing your arm. Like, and most people you get hold of in 6 months and they're kind of normal, or you lose your eyesight or whatever that is. The gift is we're all working hard to get back to the middle all the time. So your body's always trying to kind of work to get back to normal feeling. So you take 3 Vicodin and you get off on it, but 3 months later, you're back to the middle because your body's focusing. So what do? Well, you up the dosage. And then how do you get to 90? Well, that's where you get to 90. And then eventually you get to 90 to feel normal because your body's always trying to normalize. And
was Dr. Drew twirling his Oxycontin pen while he said?
I said to him, yeah. He just got back from a golf.
The check cleared.
He just got back from a convention in Maui. A couple of gals sent over to the room, and I said, of course they they're moving product, and the more people that are on a 90 pill a day or 30 pill, the more people that are strung out on this product, there's going to be a lot of product moved.
Yeah, more demand.
And a very small percentage of people are going to move a lot of units, you know. And he was like, oh, no, like they don't want that. And I was like, why wouldn't they? Yeah. And he just kept fighting with me about it.
He's one of these people that believes in the good.
He's an idealist.
Not anymore.
Jerk.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He literally just recently just went, it's fucking conspiracy. That's what they wanted.
You know, I watched on the plane here. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
on the plane here, I watched One Nation Under Stress, the Dr. Sanjay Gupta documentary about America's new stress epidemic. And at one point he says, we have 4.6% of the world's population and 80 to 90% of the world's Oxycontin consumption, which is just fucking mind-boggling to me. That's how much we consume.
The thing that we never knew, I don't want to forget this. Here's what we really didn't know. I don't even know if the drug pharmaceutical companies knew this, but here's the real slippery slope and the reason this can never have a happy ending. If you get back surgery or oral surgery or whatever, and you start taking these pills because you have pain in your back, when you're done taking the pills and there is no more pain in your back, physiologically, your back will produce pain to get fed more pills. That is a never-ending cycle that you could never really count on. This notion of you have this infection, so you take a pill to get rid of the infection. But what if what if your body loved the pill so much that it would keep telling you I have this infection? Now the infection is gone, but your body, and because it can't be quantified or measured, when you go into the doctor and you go, my back is killing me, what are we to do? If you have a wound and the wound is healed, then the doctor will go, I've examined your wound. The wound is healed, or we've got a culture back from your blood, or your liver's fine now, or whatever it is. Back pain, who's ever been able to sufficiently explain back pain? And who has back pain?
They just have smiley faces.
And why?
Why frown?
And by the way, you know, when people go like, well, I played high school ball and I played high school football. I played 10 years of football. I did 15 years of construction. My back is fine. I have no back problems. I'm not physically blessed. I just don't have any. There's people that have back problems. I don't know how much of that is manufactured, but if you tell me someone's on Vicodin, they will always have back problems because their brain wants the hit of the opioid. And that's the insidious part. That's why it can never go away. Sorry, Brad.
Oh, I was only going to say it's crazy that people, vis-a-vis Dr. Drew and the opioid manufacturers, it's crazy that people like ascribe, corporations are good or evil, or they'll do the right thing or they'll do the wrong thing. They're just all-encompassing money-eating machines. Like they're machines that are programmed to like consume and produce money. You know what I mean? Like they're not, but like it'd be as foolhardy as like saying like, there's no way the gun manufacturers aren't happy after a mass shooting because gun sales go up. Well, they probably are because they're moving more units. They're not happy people are dead, but they're happy because their products are producing more money.
But at the very least, with opioids, weren't they ever afraid they would get caught or at least called out? Doesn't that mean anything?
I don't know. And some of it isn't knowable.
Because it's happening now.
I know. I mean, look, some stuff's not knowable. We don't know how this is going to affect people on a mass scale. The best part of business is sort of like Boeing makes aircraft. Boeing tries as hard as they can to produce one at a good price point, but not to the point where they fall out of the sky because then they lose all their business. So Boeing is actively working on safety constantly because it behooves them to work on safety.
Companies that make emergency backpacks, they're thrilled when there's an earthquake because the sales spike. People, start buying emergency kits or emergency backpacks or whatever. They're not happy that there's destruction or death, but they're selling product. It's crazy to think that they wouldn't be happy.
It's like that Patrice joke. I don't know if you ever heard it, where it goes, every time there's a tsunami, there's some guy jerking off. Oh, yeah. The more cement's going to be needed.
Yeah, someone's going to benefit from this event.
He's such a slow pedestrian. God rest his soul. Yes. If you sell plywood and there's a hurricane blowing through, you're going to move more units. I get it. It really, by the way, we shouldn't be taking your temperature on whether you're happy there's an earthquake or happy there's a tsunami or happy people are consuming your product. We're just going to assume you want to move as many units as you can.
Yeah.
Whatever business you're in.
Sandbag industry.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, Pete Davidson put on a show for a crowd of University of Central Florida students, but less of a comedy show, more of a, venting, berating session.
More of a Pete Davidson show?
Yeah. TMZ says he was the headliner.
You must know Pete.
Well, I would love to see your reaction to the clip because he was this headliner for the show in Orlando Monday night, but instead of telling jokes, he blasted the audience for using their phones to film. He called them privileged little assholes. Pete went on to call everyone idiots and morons and then did a brief Q&A, but he said he only stayed because his Uber wasn't there yet. Those at the venue told TMZ there weren't any signs posted about cell phone use. The host, the MC, everybody else had their phones out. Nobody said anything. But Pete seemed to think it was common knowledge. Here's the clip. It's 90 seconds. Call your own out. You can just watch it here.
Film everything, but not enjoy the show for fucking an hour, then I don't gotta be here. I can just give them their money back because I don't give a fuck. So whenever somebody else comes to your fucking town and wants to perform and is exhausted and flies all the way to the middle of fucking nowhere to do jokes to you little privileged little assholes, don't fucking ruin the show for people who actually want to be here. That's the problem. It's because half of you did it. That's what's fucked up about our generation. They're like, yeah. It's like, wait, you were the one filming, moron. That's why we're embarrassing. That's why the world is going to end in 25 years. Because you're all fucking retarded. Yeah, I meant it that way, idiots. You should fucking grow up, okay? It says no phones, sends a thing on there. It's just you're just supposed to just behave. I have to have my fucking boy patrol you guys like you're 5 years old? That's fucking embarrassing. You should grow up. Where's the next generation? We're going, don't you want adults to respect us? Don't you want your parents to be proud of you? You know how fucking embarrassing it is to be our age and walk out and know everybody thinks you're a fucking idiot? Grow the fuck up. Now I'll continue. No, I just want to be scary. Just grow up. Don't do that shit. Seriously.
All right.
Seriously. That's my time.
I'm not a fan, but you know him better than I do. He was at the last show in, Long Island, New Jersey, wherever, where it's he told them, no Ariana Grande talk and no whatever talk. And the guy who owned the club said, all right, no, we're not going to talk about this, that, and the other. And then Pete was like, I told you not to talk about that. And he was like, I'm talking about not talking about it or whatever. And then he just left. I don't know, thin-skinned comedians. I'm kind of find that weird. I find it there's people talk, people film, people whatever. Just go out there, tell your jokes, and get paid and go home.
With this specific thing, I'm sure if it wasn't written somewhere, it should have been. But B, it's even when I did this college last night, people were filming. I'm like, don't do that. Granted, it was a much smaller room, and I could just be I could see the person's camera up. But I think whenever I've stopped someone from filming something, it's always has to be followed by an explanation as to, look, man, this is an act that at some point will be on a larger thing through my control, right? I will want to put this on Netflix or HBO or whatever it is at some point, and I don't need this rough version of it going out before anyone else does. And Pete's on such a level where if someone films it and it's the whole set, and then it goes up, and then it's viral. It's all right, well, there goes the money for whatever he's going to get for HBO or Netflix or wherever he's going to do it.
I'm not really the part where you film it. You shouldn't film it. For me, it's not about the material. It's more about the double chin. If you'd get up on an A-frame ladder and shoot down, if you're fucking sitting in a chair 6 feet under me and I'm looking at you right now, I got 5 chins. Come on now. It's an aesthetic thing. It's not a material thing.
Fair enough.
I'm a pure comedian. You understand? It's all about the look.
So vain, yes.
It's all the look. It has nothing to do with the material.
Aziz has a good way of addressing that, or at least at least one of his specials. He comes out at the beginning and goes, all right, let's get this all out of the way now. Everyone get your phones. And he does these funny poses and he's in the middle of telling jokes. He calls somebody a racist and reacts, and he goes, "Okay, now put your phones away."
Ooh, do you think we could get him to play Doc Bollywood? Does anyone have any? Do you have an Aziz
I know
connection?
someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
I have very little juice, but I'll try. Absolutely.
I'll text Aziz.
Do you know Aziz? Because that would
be great.
I do know Mr.
If we could get him
That'd be a
attached, that would be huge.
I will call him if that gets me an EP credit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Consulting.
Yeah.
No problem.
And once he's there, someone's got to get him his coffee. I mean, we need him to be comfortable. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't want a stranger walking into that trailer.
Tea. He drinks tea.
Oh, tea. Well, sorry, cultural, right?
So
well, there you
so
go.
You should be there. Getting his tea.
What you just did? It's exactly what you do on set.
That's what we need,
baby. I mean, with the Pete thing, I think it's funny that he puts it on himself too. It's like, look, we're idiots, and this is just proof positive that everyone thinks we're fucking morons. It's because someone says don't do something, and yet we go ahead and do it. It's like, no, I know best.
But don't you think the browbeating went on 45
There's
seconds
a lot
too
more
long?
you
could
than me.
feel when he lost everybody.
Sure.
I'm kind of saying, as I've always said, look, I think there's a way to say things as a comedian, especially, and try to kind of make it funny. Mm-hmm. Sort of brevity is the soul of wit, you know what I mean? Like, get it out there, and then and now let's get on with it, kind of thing. I don't feel like I feel like he belabored it, but I don't know.
He may have gone on longer than he should have, but I also did when I was telling these Columbia kids that they were in the wrong. It was 45 seconds for too long to be like, I'm smarter than you guys. I know comedy better than anybody in this room. Like, relax, all of you. This is what's wrong with you guys as a group of people right now.
Yeah, but you were being dragged off stage.
I'm going to put that in a separate category, which is you can dedicate a larger period of time to these idiots and what they're doing. I feel like this is a message like somebody left their headlights on in the parking lot who's driving the Mercedes, white Mercedes, go shut it off. We don't have to belabor it as much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, a massive brawl at a water park in California involving two families, 40 people, and a beach towel started this melee.
So it was the Feigenbaums against the Greenbergs or the Rosensteins?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Definitely not a Jew.
The yarmulkes were flying.
Pay us everywhere. Police say the fight at Raging Waters in Sacramento. Raging Waters
Been there many
started
times.
when one family allegedly took a towel belonging to a member of another family. That's all it took to spark a brawl.
Jesus Christ. We're having full fisties at Disneyland now.
Yes,
we're having
that
brawls
happened.
at water parks. Like, can we reel it in just a little bit, especially the amusement park stuff?
This is not even close to what's going to happen when it's going to be about water as opposed to a towel.
That's right.
I was surprised to hear that it wasn't over a water shortage.
This was at a water park, so quite the opposite. Left a guy unconscious in a coma. About 15 people from each family. One witness described how someone cracked a chair over the head of another person during the fight. Cops say there was alcohol involved. It's unclear whether anyone else was hurt, any arrests. The incident is still under investigation. The fight forced the entire water park to close for the day.
Who were the families?
They did not specify.
Wow.
It's under investigation.
How the fuck do 40 people fight over a towel?
A towel.
I mean, they just had a huge Donnybrook in Disneyland where this guy was punching this chick in the face.
In Toontown, where the little kids of the little kids go.
Oh, I saw that video. Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, he got charged for, child abuse, child endangerment, something like that.
Yeah, it's not great to punch chicks in the face at Disneyland or water parks, but also we got to work on our conflict resolution. Like, hey, you can do the here's as much conflict as I throw down. Excuse you. That was my towel.
You march yourself to the towel stand.
Yes. I don't rarely, especially in towels, because I feel like water parks either have towels or you bring your towel. Oh, maybe they didn't have their own shroud.
Oh, that's possible.
Maybe it's a family.
I can almost guarantee that
maybe it's a very, It was an antiquity from Grandmama in the old country.
At Disneyland, especially in Toontown, those characters are ubiquitous. How about we empower those guys to deputize those guys to keep the peace, right?
It's funny because there was a lot of people saying, where were the employees? Why weren't any of the Disney cast
Where
members?
were the cast members?
And somebody, I don't know if it was on Reddit or something, said, I can explain. I am a cast member and we are not allowed to put our hands on guests, to hug them, to pat them, to anything.
They have the mitts.
They have the mitts.
They have the mitts.
They
Of
are
course
not
they are.
allowed to touch.
You can't
like the
effectively-
maintenance people, not like the not
show you
Roger
videos
Rabbit.
of
But you
Tessa
think you
hugging
could-
Winnie the Pooh?
Not-
You think you could
not like that.
punch out Goofy or Pluto? You know what I mean? You can't cause damage. That guy's got 18 inches of foam in front of his
I think
face.
specifically they were talking about the custodial staff, the people not, in pedestrian clothes, not cartoon characters.
Yeah. Also, when 300-pound brothers are knocking out broads, what
move
do
back.
you do? Rush toward the fight? You know what I mean? Like you're getting $9 an hour.
Don't be
and
a hero,
free
you live in your
churros.
car.
Like, yeah. Who made you the hero? When I was
$9 an hour to sell $10 churros.
That's right. I was when I applied to work at McDonald's when I was 15 and a half, they show you this training video in the basement. This is stuff about where do you put your outfit and where do you punch in. You go to the back, you get dressed into your outfit, then you punch in. Like you don't punch in when you come in. You
Don't
punch
steal
in
their
after
time.
you get in your brown gi, and then you go punch in and all this shit. But like one of the things was if there was a hostile takeover, like if somebody armed robbers came in and did a robbery, and they're showing these guys in like ski masks come running in, submachine guns, open that cash register. And like one of the things was like, don't try to stop them. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting $3 an hour here. I'm behind a grill.
You didn't have to tell me.
I might yell, take me with you, but I would never try to take a bullet like, no, that's the deep fryer. Like,
I will show them the safe.
I will walk them to the safe and show them, get them as many frozen patties as they'd like.
Filet-O-Fish.
Yes, I was
want
like
the secret recipe.
Right.
You won't be like
I'll
McDowell's
sing
from
like
Coming to America.
Yes. Yeah, that was my sort of thought at 15 and a half. It was a sort of brain of a comedian. It was like, yeah, I'm going to jump in front of a bullet because they're going to rob the McDonald's.
To save the fries.
But I think they have that same... I think that's the same
Yeah.
feeling over at Disneyland.
Oh, yeah. Goofy was definitely in the corner smoking a joint. Like, yep, all right.
Cowering.
Right.
Perfect break time.
Well, none of this might matter much longer anyway. On September 14th...
Don't they have security footage of the fight or
They do,
anything?
well, I don't know if it's security footage, but a lot of people had their cameras out up close and
At
personal.
the water park?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Toontown.
Yeah, that I saw. I feel like the water park.
That was interesting because I think I read it on Fox, and I was like, well, I got to see this. And I was like, how is there not a video up? How many people could have been at Raging Waters?
I'll tell you what's happening maybe. At Disneyland, everyone's got their camera phone in their hand. When you're in your trunks and
Yeah.
in
In
the
and out of the
water,
water, yeah.
you're
It's probably
not,
in the locker.
not as much.
Yeah.
There were no people from Pete's show at Raging Water.
Yeah.
On September 14th, an asteroid will pass by the Earth that's larger than the tallest building on the planet, according to CNN. Asteroid 2000 QW7 is estimated between 1,000 and 2,000 feet tall. That's around Dubai's tallest building, Shanghai's tallest building. The asteroid will be traveling 14,361 miles an hour when it passes within 3 million miles of us. Astronomers don't believe the asteroid poses any danger, but they are tracking it. In June, astronomers showed that telescopes could provide enough warning to allow people to just move out of the way of the asteroid if it's going to strike the Earth.
I have an asteroid named after me.
Oh.
I think Drew has one.
Really?
You both do,
Didn't
yeah.
Tom name one after?
Yeah.
Tom Burbine, astrophysicist. He could do these things. He's a Harvard astrophysicist. Either way, here's why I'm the worst person in the world. He's like, Adam, named an asteroid after you. And I was like, oh, great. What happens when it hits fucking planet? I'll go into nuclear winter. And then everyone fucking blames me. You know what I mean?
Old
Thanks, but
fucking
no
Corolla
thanks.
Now you're pissed.
90217.
I was like, my first thought, just because I'm think the way I think. So what if it hits the fucking planet? Like, what if it's coming at the planet? We have 3 days to live. The Corolla.
Hurricane Adam.
Like, I'm going to take us out.
Wow,
That's a very Larry David way of thinking.
It is,
so
isn't it?
ungrateful.
I know.
In 2006, when I was phone screener on the Conway show, someone named their racehorse after me, and then they had to shoot it. It was called Gina with the news, and then they did have to put her down.
It's the only
And now
time
you're
they
Gina the glue.
It's
Right.
the only time in track history where they shot the horse before the race.
How dare you?
I'm good about this.
Drew, mine is 45-35. That's the Adam Carolla one, and Drew is 45-36. So I hope his hits the planet
Are we tracking those?
before mine.
Yeah.
Gonna have to get Bruce Willis up there and his Roughnecks drilling, right?
I told the story before, but it's so funny. Ben Affleck said to Michael Bay on set, he's like, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to be drillers and then train drillers to be astronauts? Like, shut the fuck up, Ben.
Yep.
Well, careful on your way back to New York, Nimesh, because employees at the New York Times main office have been told their workspace is infested with bed bugs.
No.
Officials in charge of building operations sent a memo to staff acknowledging the evidence of these little critters on every floor of the newsroom. The officials vowed
Is this a joke?
Nope. Officials vowed to sweep all areas, formulating a plan to rid the workspace of the pests. And this is a big problem in New York, which is why it's coming up. Hotels, theaters, homes, offices, restaurants.
Wait till
This is
Trump
less-
hears about this.
This is 24 hours after the
Yes.
thing about the writer from the New York Times
Yes.
being called a bedbug and like losing his mind.
There were
over
2 bed
this
bug
outrageous-
stories
Oh, really?
in
Heard
the
about
last
this?
24 hours.
No, who called him a bed? Trump?
He's a...
No,
Brett Stevens, he's a New York Times writer, so
He feels strongly about snowflakes.
yeah, exactly. And so a professor just tweeted it out like in response to bedbugs. Oh, they have bedbugs. Its name is Brett Stevens, and nobody retweeted it. I had a couple of likes, but Brett Stevens found his way to it and forwarded it to like the guy's boss and said, "This is not how you should be. You should be treating everybody." And then so that professor put that out on the internet, and everybody went against Brett, who now has deleted his Twitter and just gone off the grid.
It is always the people who complain about the snowflakes who are the biggest fucking snowflakes.
Yeah, well,
Send it to his boss. As an
Tried
adult
to get him
man.
fired.
As an adult man.
how old is Brett Stevens? And also,
45.
Yeah,
also
he's won a Pulitzer.
isn't I don't know. Is bedbug like that? Is that
Exactly.
his N-word or something? Like I don't know. People called me a bedbug.
The worst part
that
is
doesn't even come in my top 50 of insults. To me. I get called worse than that on the way home.
It's always what you are that you don't like being called. So maybe he was the vector for bedbugs.
He kind of doubled down too. Like he had a chance to kind of like, no big deal. But then he was like, comparing someone to an insect is a long history. But shut the fuck up.
But is he called like Trump Hitlerian 17 times, or is he have a different? Is he different? Like who is he
he's more
insulted?
conservative.
Yeah, he's
he's
a
conservative.
pretty conservative dude. That's what I'm saying. He's not a fan of the snowflakes.
He's a conservative, and he's not a fan of the snowflakes, and yet he's turning into a fucking snowflake.
Also known for his contrarian views on climate change. So a lot of people really don't like him.
Well, the extra heat brings out the bedbug. Oh, he pussed out. What a puss.
Yeah.
I hate
He
that.
sent it to his boss.
Come on,
He's
Brett.
his boss.
Better
The
than
guy's
that, man.
boss. You know, I mean, the
Yes.
professor or whatever.
Yeah, try and get him fired.
Boy, bedbug is pretty innocuous in this day and age. So
Until you get him.
there's an epidemic. So we got
He'll be called
bedbugs. So we have like bubonic plague in L.A. and bedbug. And,
In
we
New
make
York.
fun of the fucking flyover states, but I don't feel like there's a lot of bubonic plague in the flyover
My
states.
mom is resting easy in the Midwest.
Sleeping
Yes.
in a non-infested mattress.
Yes, it's beautiful.
What do we attribute the bed? Like here we got the homeless and the feces and the rats. What's the bedbugs?
Well,
good
when
question.
they come to hotels, they're you're a transient sort of society at a hotel, so you're taking them with you, you're dropping them off, and then they're just everywhere.
Now you got me nervous. About
I'm
flying.
sorry, I know. Just bring your own mattress like Mick Jagger. You'll be fine. That's part of his rider. He has to have a brand new mattress, and one of his staff breaks it in before he gets there.
Really?
At every hotel. I just read that. I think someone from his team was like, "That's not true. That's preposterous." And some guy's like, "Okay."
The break it in part seems a little weird,
Yeah.
but the new
Someone you
mattress
trust.
for your Mick, why
Yeah,
not?
why not get a new mattress?
My whole thing too, like with your riders or with your whatevers, if you're paying for it,
Yeah.
then you're paying for it. Like if you're going to go out on a tour and the tour's going to generate $150 million,
Yeah.
and you want to
Buy 20 mattresses.
You want to buy 20 mattresses,
Cares?
and that's going to put you out 20 grand, then that's up to you.
But yeah, back it out.
Yeah, back it out.
All right. Well, just because you brought up your love of plants, in case you go out of town again, I would like Nimesh to have a couple of options. If one thing that stresses you out about going on vacation.
I want to backtrack. Were we? Yeah. Was it Laura? Who had to apologize?
Laura Spencer
with the ballet.
Yeah, that one.
Lara.
Lara Spencer did she made fun of ballet.
She was I didn't think you'd want to do this story, but she was doing the curriculum for little Prince George's school, and it's going to be whatever civics or classics or whatever, and ballet, and so she made fun of him because she said. She said, I got news for you, Royals. George is not going to be into ballet. Boys don't like ballet. And everyone had a good laugh. And then there was a big boys dance backlash.
I'm just saying, people make comments.
One by Gene Kelly's former wife.
But
sometimes they're accurate. Sometimes they're a joke. But most all the time, they're just what they are.
I say, can anyone dispute that the majority of young boys are not into dance?
Well, and that was the other thing.
This is why.
Right.
And that was the other thing I said, oh, God, what did she say about boys who dance? It wasn't like boys who dance or this or that. She just said, I got news for you. He probably won't be interested in it for very long. And that was the big controversial statement.
You could put ballet and replace ballet with anything, and that would be a boy.
Yeah. You could say fortnight.
Right.
They're not going to be into it for very long.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, this is some sort of gender shaming, I think, is the problem. It crosses over and doesn't some sort of... We don't care about little boys, per se, but we do care about the sort of gender shaming part of it.
What's
and whatever.
The fix to all of this? What is the fix? Let's just take this example.
I will tell you, no apologies. The apologies begat apologies. Once you start stepping back, you just keep moving backwards. The folks, I always sort of say, I'll give the Reader's Digest version of it for the people who've heard it before, but I do it my stand-up act a little bit, which is you take smoking. Smoking is hey, no smoking in the restaurant. People used to just smoke everywhere, and it's have a smoking section. Everyone's all right, we're moving to smoking. And then they went to the smoking section, and it's wafting into the main. Just go to the bar. Bearers went to the bar and smoked. And then they're like, yeah, not in the bar anymore. Go outside. And they went, all right, it's freezing, it's Chicago, but we'll go stand outside. Then they went outside, and they were like, you're too close to the front door.
6 feet away.
And you need to move it down the sidewalk a little. And then they went, no smoking at the park. And then someone went, fuck it, we'll vape. And San Francisco's outlawing vaping. And it's so is there an end? Is there a finish line? Because if the finish line is we don't like secondhand smoke, that's fine. But I think the finish line is we like telling people what to do all the time, and we have no end. It's PETA doesn't have an end.
Right.
When they're done with commercial whaling, they get on to mosquitoes and the Holocaust of killing a cockroach. You know what I mean? It's this only works if there is a finish line.
Right.
But if it's more about telling people what they can do and can't do, then that'll never end because that'll be, we're outlawing vaping. Well, this is nicotine and water vapor. Yeah, not inside here, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not a lot of science behind it, but fine. But I think you're more in love with telling people what they have to do for you than you are in the problem. So you're not so interested in how this is going to affect the ballet scene. You're more into we need this person to get on their knees,
fall in line,
and
fall in line. She did. And
she spoke to several dancers and groups and learned a lot.
And now he loves
learned a lot.
Yeah,
she learned a lot. I know. No, we all have to go just full Dave Chappelle. Just get up there and do 10 minutes on why Michael Jackson's a hero and why Rihanna, while Rihanna had it coming. And then no one asked Dave Chappelle to apologize because it's clear he's not.
Right.
We go find the people who will. We want satisfaction. So if someone goes to you, apologize, you go, fuck off. And then they go, oh, that's not satisfying. But if they go, apologize, you go, okay, let me draft up something that you can approve of, then they stand there very satisfied. So we cannot give them the satisfaction.
Well, you have a great example of this from back in the day with the Scientology letter.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I am a hero. Scientology, it was discussed. People that they've now pulled the curtain back on Scientology and seen the wizard, which is a little man in the corner.
David Miscavige.
That's right.
But when I was doing Loveline, and it was like I don't know, when that from, MexPatel? 99, 97? It was pretty early on. And we're talking about the 90s. We were making fun of Scientology, and we got a letter from Scientology that basically said, you take it back, man, and you do it on the air. And we've scripted like a conversation for you to have with Drew.
Oh, shit.
And we sort of were looking at it, and everyone at the time said to me, hey, man, you better do it because these people will ruin you. They'll ruin your life. And at the time, I was living up Lake Hollywood, literally above the Celebrity Center. Like, I was picturing this big building I'd pass by on Franklin or whatever on my way home every day. And people are giving me a very earnest discussion on, like, you fuck with Scientology, they fuck your shit up. They'll go to your house. They'll go through your mail. Like, they'll dig up dirt. Like, just apologize because they'll ruin your life. And I was like, oh, my God. And they had full control at that point. That's when Scientology was like at the height of its powers, but we still told them to fuck off. And they never came back to us. We read their letter on the air and made fun of them the entire time. Later on, I discovered the real ball busters in the room were Filipinos. That ain't a joke. Make fun of Scientology all you want. Do not make fun of Filipinos.
Was this the Guy Aoki one?
No, that's another
different one. Oh my God!
This is another Asian incident.
Another Asian incident, but
It's Manny Pacquiao.
It was a Manny Pacquiao discussion. I literally had Jon Stewart go, oh, you made fun of Filipinos? Like, don't you ever do that. He must have made that mistake, too. They're fighting breed.
Oh, yeah.
And a proud culture.
Upstanding citizens.
That's right. I had it.
People.
Believe me, when you get out of line, I'll be the first person to admit it, right, MexPatel?
Yep. That's right.
Great shoes on them nurses.
You can't make... Oh, you take that back.
Come on.
Oh, it's okay. He's okay.
That was too far.
You cannot make fun of Filipinos. He said
that.
they will fucking declare fatwa on your ass. And they did. And they will. And Pacquiao called them off.
Christian fatwa.
Yes. They'll come after you. And I just remember Jon Stewart. I don't know how it even came up, but Jon Stewart's like, oh, yeah, don't fuck with the Filipinos. He must have said, he must have made some Filipino
Crossed that line
joke.
at one point.
He made that mistake.
Right.
Oh, boy. You're going to get some red, white, and blue letters up in this room.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yellow stars on top of them.
That's right. Let's do one more.
All right. Well, if the one thing that stresses you out about going on vacation is that you're going to come back to dead plants, Nimesh.
Hold
I
on.
can
Brian
help you.
Grazer's coming on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Should I pitch him the Doc
Doc
Bollywood
Bollywood.
thing?
I think he needs to hear it.
He has juice. He could get this greenlit.
We have
Yeah.
two big stars attached in Kumail and Aziz. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, you need some tea?
Yeah.
Chamomile will be good for
I
that.
have a lozenge in my bag.
Now,
Bollywood.
Aziz is a double bagger, we call it. But don't steep it too long. I don't want him to throw I don't want him to tear apart his trailer like he did last time.
Oh, man. All right, let's hear this houseplant thing.
All right. So the online.
Do you know Aziz?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
see?
course
That's
you
why
do.
it sucks being white. Like, people are like, do you know Jim Gaffigan? Like, not really.
Well, the brown community is like
I know.
six
It's
of
an
us.
advantage.
You know?
It's an advantage. Yeah.
Don't talk shit. It'll get back.
Talk all.
Do you think he likes Michael J. Fox? Has he ever spoken about it?
I'm
or-
sure.
Familiar with his
Is he a
catalog?
fan of the film?
It's odd. We were just texting yesterday.
Obviously, he'd have a cameo.
Got
you
this
know?
idea, Nimesh.
Maybe Hassan Minaj wants to be involved. Do you know him?
Yes.
Okay.
I could
We got
text
the
Hassan
Rolodex
right now.
nested.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, my God.
We're looking at a picture of Aziz.
And Michael J. Fox
Aziz
together
like,
on a red
I got to find
carpet.
someone shorter than me to take a picture with. Like, I don't know this cat, but I'll do it.
Oh, didn't Michael J. Fox do an episode of Parks and Rec?
I don't remember.
I feel like maybe he did.
Or Master of None or something.
Sure.
Doubtful.
Anyway.
You're asking the wrong
Tell him
guy.
I'm a big fan. And, tell him Michael's on board. The way to do it is you got to tell him Mike's on board first,
Mike.
and then that'll get Aziz on board, and then we call Fox and we go, Aziz is on board.
Right.
He wants to make sure you're on. You see how the way we
keep
kind
them
of shuffle.
separated from the lie.
It's a little 3-card Monty, but at the end,
I
we're
got
all
it.
rolling
We
in
get Doc
clover.
Bollywood, yeah.
Right?
We'll make it happen. What's Act 3? We got to figure that out after this houseplant thing.
Well, there's love. Obviously, it's where the love is really found. Now, initially, not so much because she's suspicious of you and Aziz and his Hollywood, his Beverly Hills plastic surgery. She doesn't trust. You know what I mean?
Third act's always where it looks like it's going to fall apart, the love angle, but then it comes back
It
together.
was there all along.
There along. All right.
Online plant delivery shop. It's called Patch.
Ooh.
It's launching a dedicated hotel for houseplants. This means you can leave your plants at the hotel knowing they'll be cared for by a team of specialists. Patch says they will place your plant in the best possible spot, whether it needs
Team of
sun or
specialists
shade.
are unemployable hashers. I mean, come on. That is a job for the unemployable.
I work at the
right?
plant hotel.
Also, I'm not bringing my plants someplace. They're at my house already. You know how hard it is to get plants to a house?
That's true.
I got
everything.
I got
Don't you think
3
it's easier
6
just to hire a chick to come by 3 times a week and
Yes.
hit him with the spritzer?
Speaking of chick, can I tell you the name of the woman who manages the plant hotel?
Is it Rose?
Her name is Rose Grower.
It is Rose!
Grower.
No.
The hotel manager, whose name is, no joke, Rose Grower,
I like
explains that the hotel is a
joke.
sanctuary for your beloved plants. They will be in great company and looked after with the respect and love they so richly deserve.
out of business in 6 months.
You give them that loan?
I'm calling it.
I do this thing like whose wife is more pissed off, the guy who gets into drag boat racing or the guy who gets into the tractor sled weight pulling? Like whose wife? Whose husband's more pissed? The guy's got to underwrite this shit show. Like I got an idea for a business. Oh, what happened to the decorative candle store?
You're gonna use
This
spare
is much
room
bigger.
to do what?
Yeah, like who's cutting the checks? Like,
What's Lynette doing these days? She works in the hospitality industry.
that's right.
Oh, she opened a hotel.
All right,
No.
let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. It hurts, and I just can't stop smiling.
That was the news with Gina Grad.